published 0640 Est, the 26th of December 2017, updated 1200 Est, the 26th of December 2017. Fox hunting protesters and supporters clashed on the streets today as more than 250 hunts met for the annual Boxing Day event after Theresa May U-turned over plans for a vote on scrapping the ban. Tempers flared at the Tredegar farmers' hunt in Bassaleg, near Newport, Wales, as the two groups squared up to each other and the police had to intervene in a bid to defuse the situation. Former UKIP leader Nigel Farage was seen laughing while he made his way to the hunt meeting point in Chiddingstone Castle, Kent. Meanwhile, hundreds of people lined the streets in Eltham in Kent and Ledbury in Herefordshire to watch the men and women, wearing their hunting pink, parade through the villages before taking part in the hunt. It comes as Mrs May is set to abandon her Conservative general election manifesto pledge to give MPs a free vote on whether to overturn the fox hunting ban. A man was riding his horse through Bassaleg, near Newport, Wales, when protesters and supporters clashed. In the village, protesters and supporters clashed during the Tredegar farmers' hunt as a woman on a horse went past the Tredegar Arms in Bassaleg. A police officer tried to defuse the situation in Wales this afternoon after tempers flared between fox hunting supporters and protesters on Boxing Day. A girl riding a horse went straight past protesters who were holding up signs which read "The country cares. Ban hunting with dogs." According to the Bed Bucks Hunt Sabs, this fox was killed during a hunt in Great Thurlow in Suffolk earlier today. The East Kent and West Street hunt set off for the traditional Boxing Day meet from the village of Eltham in Kent on Monday. Hundreds of people gathered in Ledbury, Herefordshire, and spectators watched the men and women ride down the street. The East Kent and West Street hunt set off for the traditional Boxing Day meet from the village of Eltham in Kent on Tuesday. Former UKIP leader Nigel Farage was photographed laughing and smiling as he arrived at the hunt meeting point at Chiddingstone Castle in Kent. Hundreds of people attended the Essex hunt meeting at Matching Green and gathered outside the Chequers pub for the traditional Boxing Day meet. People gathered in Chiddingstone, Kent, for the traditional Boxing Day hunt, and Mr Farage was pictured heading there this morning. The hunt in Chiddingstone, Kent, started on Tuesday morning and the former UKIP leader was seen laughing when he arrived. A member of the Old Surrey Burstow and West Kent hunt crashes as she jumps a fence during the annual Boxing Day's hunt in Chiddingstone. Members of the crowd react after a rider of the Old Surrey Burstow and West Kent hunt was injured after she rode through fields. The Hunting Act was introduced by the Labour Party in 2004, which outlawed the hunting of animals including foxes and deer with dogs. A recent survey found 85% did not think hunting should be made legal again. And Mrs May is set to announce next year that she will not go ahead with the vote. It comes as the Countryside Alliance said hunting was younger and more diverse than it had ever been. A survey of registered hunts showed more women and young people were taking part in legal hunts such as trail hunting than 10 years ago. Baroness Anne Malaloo, president of the Countryside Alliance, said the hunting ban has little to do with animals or their welfare, adding the anti-hunting lobby is about a hatred of people. But polling for the League Against Cruel Sports showed continued widespread opposition to repealing the Hunting Act. Hunting returned to the headlines during the snap general election, when Mrs May promised a free vote on repealing the ban to the consternation of campaigners, but failed to win a parliamentary majority. But according to the Sunday Times, she will announce plans to permanently drop the commitment to a House of Commons vote, in a move which would risk infuriating rural Tories. A Downing Street source described the report as pure speculation, but reiterated the government's position there is no vote that could change the current policy on fox hunting scheduled in this session of Parliament, which ends in 2019. Baroness Malaloo wrote in the Telegraph there can be no logical justification for such a ridiculous law. So what was the real motivation for the ban, if that was not already obvious? The admission of one MP, as soon as the law was passed, that it was class war, and the subsequent continuing campaigns against hunts that are no longer hunting foxes, can leave only one conclusion. The anti-hunting movement is not really about the welfare of animals, it is about a hatred of people, and so it continues its obsessive pursuit of hunts. The National Trust has brought in new measures for licensing legal hunts on its land, including forbidding laying fox-based scents which can lead to foxes being accidentally hunted. A little girl was seen laughing in Eltham this morning when one of the dogs taking part in the traditional hunt jumped up onto the fence. Riders and hounds took part in the Duke of Beaufort's Boxing Day hunt at Idmarton in Gloucestershire on Tuesday morning. The Old Surrey and West Kent Boxing Day hunt arrives for the meet at Chiddingstone Castle on December 26. Pictured participants ride to Worcester Lodge during the Duke of Beaufort's Boxing Day hunt at Idmarton in Gloucestershire. A large group of at least 25 hounds were seen running together during the Duke of Beaufort's Boxing Day's hunt in Gloucestershire. Hundreds of people lined the streets in Ledbury High Street for the annual festive meet of the Boxing Day Ledbury Hunt. Spectators watched as hunt members, in their pink hunting coats, gathered outside the Feathers Hotel, just as they have done for generations in Ledbury, Herefordshire. Bloodhound dogs wait with members of the Old Surrey, Burstow and West Kent hunt as they gather at Chiddingstone Castle during their annual Boxing Day hunt. Hundreds of people lined the market square in the village of Eltham, Kent, and started playing with the dogs before they went out on the hunt. Men, women and children were seen riding horses through the streets of Ledbury on Tuesday morning to take part in the annual hunt. Hounds at the Duke of Beaufort's Boxing Day hunt were photographed waiting for the event to start in Idmarton, Gloucestershire. Spectators lined the streets and watched the annual Boxing Day hunt in Aberford, near Leeds, West Yorkshire. On Tuesday, the Essex hunt, pictured, has met regularly in Matching Green since the early 19th century, although since 2005 it has not been allowed to use dogs to chase and kill foxes. Spectators had to use umbrellas as they watched the Duke of Beaufort's Boxing Day hunt at Idmarton in Gloucestershire. Countryside Alliance said a survey of hunts found 70% of hunts had more women hunting and 54% had more young people than they did 10 years ago. More than 94% of hunts had members in every age category, while 3/4 of hunts, 74%, had at least one female master of foxhounds, the organisation said. Countryside Alliance's head of hunting, Polly Patwin, said hunting has always been the most accessible of activities, and these figures show exactly how diverse it is. There is certainly more equality in the hunting field than in most walks of life. Many hunts now have more female subscribers than men, and it is wonderful to see new generations taking up hunting. The future of hunting is secure when so many young people are joining the hunting field. A survey of 2003 people by Ipsos Mori for the League Against Cruel Sports found that 85% did not think fox hunting should be made legal again, while opposition to legalizing deer hunting stood at 87% and hare hunting and coursing at 90%. Opposition to legalizing fox hunting had risen from 73% in 2008 to 85% this year, the Animal Welfare Organization said. Director of Policy, Communications and Campaigns for the League Against Cruel Sports Chris Luffingham criticized the portrayal of Boxing Day's hunts as a celebration of a great tradition with huge public support. And he said with 85% of the public saying they do not want fox hunting made legal again, there has never been a better time to strengthen a hunting act and bring an end to the illegal persecution of wildlife still going on under the guise of trail hunting. League Against Cruel Sports Chief Executive Eduardo Goncalves said it's nearly 2018, not 1818, so it's a little strange we're celebrating because a government has renounced fox hunting. But yet, this is still good news. There's been a shift this year as the government has realized quite how important it is to recognize the compassionate nature of the British public. The cynical will say that this statement won't hold in the future when the pro-hunting lobby exerts its influence once more, so we shall have to see if an anti-hunting stance is indeed the future of the Conservative Party, or a tactical move at a politically sensitive time. For the sake of our animals, we hope it's the former.